who have you lent or sold or sourced the most skins to? Like, I want you to out somebody.
It's a little bit unfair because of device break, right? Because he's definitely a degenerate. If it wasn't for the breaks, like, it would have been him.
Look, nothing gets Counter-Strike lovers hot and bothered quite like skins. So for the debut episode of our brand new interview show, Unmuted Live, I had to sit down with everyone's favorite skin maestro, zipeL. For those who don't know, zipeL's a renowned, I think it's fair to say, you are renowned for being a skin trader, a content creator. I don't know, man, a skin guy? That's just the skin guy? That's sort of the identity that you've taken on. How would you describe, in your words, what it is that you do for a living?
I just hold skins. And I wait for them to go up and then I sell them. My friend was buying skins, yeah? Like way back, and he was buying skins, and as you all know, like if you own a pair of sneakers, a car, or a watch for a certain amount of time, you probably get tired. You want something new. That's the same thing with skins. You think that's my dream knife, or this is my dream item, and then you get it, and then you're suddenly like, shit, I probably want this instead, right? It's not just cashing out, it's like selling something, getting something new. And back then, these like trading sites were the primary thing. So let's say you started out with a $2,000 inventory, then you wanted something new. Suddenly the items you traded for are 1,800. My initial thought was I'll just buy the skins a little bit cheaper from the people that want to cash out. Then I'll take all these skins, and then that can cover the fee that these sites will take when I'm converting them into the big skin that I want. But then after I bought all these, I was like, why don't I just sell them again for the actual value? And then that sort of just snowballed. Initially, it was all about building your network, posting everywhere that I'm buying skins and this is why you should trust me, building up reputation threads so you could link it to people so they would actually send the items first, because you cannot make a sustainable business out of sending people money first on the internet. Like, that's gonna go wrong very fast.
So how do you like explain your day job, like your career, like your living, like whatever, to random people?
I'll give you an example. I was at a family birthday, an old geezer, right? And he's like, what do you do for a living, by the way? And then I was just like, I work with computer games. So he's like, oh, you make games? No. It's some virtual cosmetics in the game. Oh, so you make them? No. I don't make them. And it's like, I just sell them. And it's like, so you have someone make them for you and then you sell them? It's like, no. That conversation, by the way, it ended up with him thinking that I was able to repair one of those like big clocks you have. You know, the I don't know what they're called.
Grandfather clock?
Yeah. He asked me if I knew how to repair that. And I was like, where did that come from?
Okay, how? All right, sure. Where does the name zipeL come from? Is it like a diminutive in Danish? Like, what is it? Is it like, what does it mean?
It's a fridge, right?
It's a what?
It's a fridge. You didn't hear?
A fridge?
Yeah, it's a pretty old Samsung smart fridge. That's called zipeL. I should buy one.
How the f did that become your name?
I don't know.
Okay. Cool name.
It's
all
like,
right.
It's a really cool fridge. It's like, it's huge, man.
You don't
really
own,
big.
and you don't own one?
No. It's a big mistake, but I can't fit in my flat, so.
So it's safe to say that you adhere to a certain ethos when you're doing business. You touched on it earlier, right? This sort of like honesty is the best policy, you know, idea. Now, suffice it to say that's not super common in the skin community. Skin trading for many years has had a certain, let's say, a reputation, right? There's a certain like a seedy kind of like underbelly reputation for scamming and et cetera. And it's well founded. My question for you is like, what sparked it? Why did you have this sort of idea that you were going to be this like very upstanding trader, but also, you know, to maintain it?
I am just a trader. Like, I didn't stream, I didn't do YouTube, I just bought skins. So if you just buy skins and you don't have the knowledge, you're not fair. Like, how are you ever gonna build a name? This thing about like fair, it's such a fun topic, right? Because right now there are some people that would say, well, your prices are not fair. And the people that are saying that could be people that, let's say, are buying for maybe even 10% more than me, but they're selling it for 10, 15 more because they are selling it on a gambling site where I will not risk my account selling. So like, good for them if they can do that, right? So it's very nuanced. And I think fair is not what you pay. Fair is being transparent with the buyer so he knows what he's getting and why. You just gotta tell the person your item is listed for this amount, the last sale is this, I can pay this. They can take an informed decision. I think that's like the key point, right?
Do you sort of feel this idea that you have become this like a sort of beacon? Like you've become a sort of safe place for like anybody to come and say, whether you're a pro player or just like a silver elite who unboxed a f***ing case hardened, right? They can DM you and say, like, well, I trust you.
You know, I don't like to boast and stuff like that, but this is one of the only things I'll take credit for. I know that there's a lot of people out there right now doing one-to-one what I've been doing. And that's not a bad thing because they still have to build their reputation, right? So hopefully they're not gonna be scammers, right? But when I started doing it, nobody helped. It was just, either the guy got sharked or I helped him. That was it. Now there's like 20, 40 people that can help you. And it's the same with Buff. I remember when, like, I'm from Denmark. When I made a Buff account, I asked the guy on Buff, should I make a guide to Buff? Because there's only this niche amount of people using Buff. Buff inevitably would have been as big as it is now, but it wouldn't have been this big this fast if it wasn't for that video and if it wasn't for the trader people on Twitter pushing Buff out, right? That's why I'm saying I'm less relevant, because there are definitely so many options nowadays.
Who have you lent or sold or sourced the most skins to by your estimation? Like, I want you to out somebody. Like who's a real f***ing degen?
There's like these two types of people. There are these people that are like 2 weeks before a tournament, they're like, I'm looking for this before the tournament. And then there's the person messaging 10 minutes before, this shit ain't working between maps. They're like, this shit ain't working. I need new gloves, right? It's a little bit unfair because of device break, right?
Yeah.
Because he's definitely a degenerate. If it wasn't for the breaks, like it would have been him, but it's twists.
I was gonna say, it's gotta be twists, right? Yeah.
It's twists, yeah. It's 100% twists. Like, if they lose something, he'll definitely write and be like, can I borrow this? Can you swap this? But he's also buying skins. Like, he's bought a lot of skins. He has a lot of skins himself.
You are very, very into Swiss watches. And from what I gather, I don't know a ton about watches, but from what I gather, you boast yourself quite a collection. I'm just curious, like, how and why did the like obsession start? Like, what is it about Swiss watches, or just watches in general, I should say?
For me, it's like it's not really about the price, and it's not really about it being a Swiss watch or a Grand Seiko or something if it's Japanese. The reason that I got into watches is because when you're working with something that is purely virtual all day, it's nice to actually have something in your hand for once that you can look at and enjoy, right? Like, I think any sane person that starts like spending time learning about watches, or even like I have some tools for like taking them apart and stuff, like playing around with those things. It's very calming and it's very interesting.
Do you have like a Grail tier skin, like an end game skin that you've never owned, that you would like really like to own?
Probably a souvenir Dragonlord with good stickers.
Does it matter what player, or do you just want good stickers?
No, I think I would want the Pasha or the JW.
Pasha and JW?
Yeah, because those are like the faction new options that are good, yeah. People are gonna say that I'm a psycho, but it wouldn't even be like a faction new 387 because I'm not gonna pay the money for that. The 661 with 4 Titan Holos, I've had it. I've had so many 661s. I've had most blue gems in Karambit, right? I have most blue gems in any knife. I've had 4 Titan Holo, Statue of Faction House. I've had the Abba Power, played with that.
So you are also the co-founder, as you mentioned, of Skinbit, and you have talked about you wanting it to fill sort of, I guess it's fair to say, sort of like a hole in the marketplace, like to fill this like sort of special role. And I just wanted to ask you, it's been out for shit now at almost 2 years, right? Just shy, I guess. And what makes it special in your opinion? But I also wanted to ask you sort of what kind of challenges have you faced?
Oh, it's definitely been tough. Like the initial thought is, I remember like way back, these trading sites had, every time there was an item with a sticker or a rare float, it would go on auction and you could bid on it. But the money didn't go to the players, they went to the site. So everything, the extra than the base price they already paid for the skin would go to the site. But the feature was so popular, everyone loved it because they could snipe these like low float skins or rare sticker items, blue gems.
We've all done it, yeah. We've all done it. I wanted to bring that back. So the initial thing was an auction place, right? Where you could list something for 0, you could list it for whatever, you could list it for 30 minutes, for a week. I think like the launch, it was decent. You know, people like the idea of it, but it's just not sustainable
for an entire marketplace to run on only auctions. It's a niche feature that is good to have. So very quickly we realized that we need an actual marketplace as well. What we've been trying to build is just a very seamless site. So a very good UX, all the features that people want, support that actually replies fast. That's something we really wanted. And no funny business when you have to withdraw something. So if you sold something, the money's already on the way to your bank account. You don't need to click something. You don't need to do an extra layer of KYC. You know, everything is done before you've sold your skin, right? It's been a challenge because we wanted to do it correct. If we just said, okay, we're gonna use Stripe as payment provider without actually, getting the go ahead from them, and then just adding crypto and doing all this like gray area stuff, right?
Yeah.
And the site would have been humongous now compared, and we would have made so much more money. But obviously, it would have been illegal or would have been like gray area, right?
Yeah.
Marketing is insanely expensive. Like, think about YouTubers, how much they get offered for a video and everything right now, because everyone is competing with the offers from gambling sites.
Yes.
If a gambling site can pay you 50K for a video, then what can you do if you're a browser, right? I mean, we are at a spot now where things are going good.
Good.
For the first time. Like, not good. I mean, it's always been, it's good because we progressed towards the side that we wanted in the end, right?
Yeah.
But now we are there, and the numbers are starting to look very good.
You got the site you wanted on your terms, which was the important thing always. To stay faithful to the vision of Skinbit, right? And not take shortcuts that compromise the integrity of the site. Settle the debate. Is it the best op? Because as the owner of a Gungnir...
Dragonlord.
Okay, so why?
The legacy. You can't with the legacy. Think about it. If you look at all the skin designs from the time of the Dragonlord's origin, there's nothing with that amount of detail. There's nothing that is so high quality and still like looks good in game. It's not pixelated like the lightning strike. It's not drawing like the fire serpent. Gungnir, it's a cool little Norse Greek mythology, blah, 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 little pattern. It looks nice.
Beautiful skin.
It's a beautiful skin.
Yeah.
But the legacy of the Dragonlord, like I was playing a game yesterday. It's like I had a Gungnir equipped and the guy asked, do you have a Dragonlord? And it's like, why do you not have it on? I want to see the Dragonlord. I had never held a Dragonlord. Dragonlord. Dragonlord is the only right answer. If you say anything else, you're wrong. CSGO skins is the D-Lord.
It's the made CSGO skins. Best gloves. Settle the debate.
So this is tough, and this is very controversial. As an all-around glove for any knife, there are 3 answers that I won't insult you for picking. And the first one is the most controversial one. King snakes. Okay, hear me out. With king snakes, everything is invalid but flawless king snakes. Because if they're not flawless, they have green spots on it and looks like shit. Max red kimonos, crimson kimonos. Not for any knife. But that's like as one of like the sick, because it's also pattern based, like to the highest extent pattern based, right?
Okay, what's the third?
I mean, I am the type of guy that can rock a pair of Pandoras to anything. But I know that's controversial because it's purple, right? So I will say for all around, if I didn't know what knife you're gonna give me, I will just have the king snakes FN.
I want to ask you what the best knife is, because the best knife is the butterfly knife, and we're just not gonna sit here and say it's anything else.
What did you just do?
I didn't do anything.
Have you watched Propinator's video on the knife tier list? What he says about people using butterfly knives?
Your ADHD can be cured in different ways, like these balloons filled with flour you can squash, or even fidget spinners for a lot cheaper price, and you will look like less of a loser.
I think the best knife in CS is the Karambit.
Better than butterfly.
Yeah.
Why?
Corners.
But they have shitty. You have to look so hard for a good corner.
Yes, that's why. Makes them unique. A butterfly is a butterfly. If you have a butterfly sapphire, minimal wear, or the lowest float in the world, they look the same. It's generic, it's boring, and your ADHD can be cured in other ways. Done.
In terms of settling debates, one more thing, because I'm looking at the price of my Fire Serpent, and it's actually also going up in price. Fire Serpent. Is the Fire Serpent ugly? Or is it not ugly?
Every time I talk about the Fire Serpent on stream, people are like, it's shit. But I actually always like the Fire Serpent. I like the colors. I think it looks legendary. And that's probably just me watching YouTubers, watching streamers back then, having the Fire Serpent as a play skin. For me, it's just always been something where I thought, I need that, I want that. It's always been everyone's Grail AK. The majority of people that don't like the skin are probably newcomers that just see the AK and they're like, there are other better red AKs. It looks like shit. But for me, it's like there's so much emotion attached to that skin. You know, Shroud using the AK, so many, like there's so many things attached to that AK. The trade-offs with the AK, it's a legendary AK, and maybe that just makes me unable to see that it's ugly, because I don't think it's ugly. I think it's amazing.
Would you do me a favor? Speaking of AKs, I have a favor to ask you.
Am I doing a price check or what?
Yeah, can you price check my blue lamp?
User has disconnected from the channel.
I just popped it in our.
You're not joking?
No, I'm not joking. I have a blue lamp right here. Can you check it for me? This one.
1200 RMB.
1200 RMB. You're gonna hit me with the market?
Yeah, it's literally market price.
What do you mean it's still market? Has a Cato hollow on it.
I can only see laminates when I'm looking at laminates.
Why do you hate blue lamps so much?
It was the AK back in the day.
Yeah.
Like everyone had a blue laminate. Every sticker that people want to know if it's worth more money is on a blue laminate. So when people come in and want pricing, they're like, I have rare expenses. It's blue laminate, blue laminate, blue laminate, blue laminate, blue laminate. Okay, I picked up a new counter skin. Let me guess, blue laminate? Yes. Fantastic. They're everywhere.
CS2 is stonking shit very, very, very hard. Like, it's safe to say that we are at an all-time high, like 3 times over, at least twice over. Obviously, we could talk about it for 3 hours, and we're not. But I was just gonna ask you, what is your take on all of this? Like, do you think that this is an organic bubble? Do you think it's an artificial bubble? Do you think that with CS2 things are gonna actually start to chill a little bit? Do you think they're gonna hold? Do you think they're gonna go even crazier? Or do you just have absolutely no idea because this shit is just so crazy?
The way I see it, if we go back to 2021 when shit hit the fan and things just crashed to oblivion, right? We had a lot of manipulated prices, a lot of FOMOing into buying, a lot of people getting burned hard, a lot of people not selling because of greed, because it's only going up, why would I sell? But this time, I can't even tell people, just take your profit. Well, I can, but I can also not like say you should definitely do it. Because this time there's actually something backing it, which is CS2. So this creates like a very interesting thing. Are we all selling when CS2 comes? What is that we're waiting for when CS2 comes? Is see 3 million players, 5 million players? If we see 2 million, what do you think then? I understand the price increases. Now they have gotten to a point where it's beyond what, well, I can still understand it, but it's getting very ridiculous at the moment. This is a combination of obviously a lot of new players hearing about the CS2 things. We are getting a lot of new players into the game as well as it is. The more popular the game becomes, the more people are also becoming aware of how easy it is to move prices on items. These investment groups, you've seen it on TikTok, people are trying to manipulate the items they have invested in. But then once CS2 comes, we'll see, let's say that there's a player record in the start of like 4 million people playing the game. We have even more new players and they need skins as well. And there is even more reason to buy skins. But then it depends on how many, like, are there still people to buy? Did they do it before, right? What I think is gonna happen is skins are probably gonna continue to go up a little bit. And then after 2 months, when it becomes normal, the game is settled, people will be like, okay, it's time to cash out. And that's when we see the dip. And I don't know how big that dip will be, but I suspect that if we continue climbing with all the skins like right now, I think it could get pretty ugly.
Do you plan on staying in esports and Counter-Strike and skins indefinitely, or is there some sort of like lifelong dream that you still intend to follow maybe?
First of all, I'm clearly like very old, right? Like my chat knows me as like 50 plus.
50 plus years old?
Yeah.
Yeah, I get the same shit, bro. And I'm older than you too.
Are you?
I'm 30. You're like 27?
28.
28. So yeah, I'm 30. I just turned 30 like 2 months ago.
Okay, I feel sorry for you. Anyway, what I'm doing right now is already starting to dwindle a little bit. Back in the day, if I missed out on a $50 deal and somebody else took it from me, I would be fuming. I would be like, where did I mess up? I need to improve. You can call that slacking, or you can just call that taking some vacation time from grinding for a long time. And then obviously I'm trying to learn about watches to maybe do something with that. I'm obviously like part owner of a CSGO team that I'm obviously also interested in that performing well. So that's also very interesting to me. And I'm willing to put in a lot of time for that, even if it should give me no reward. So it's like right now, I think I've just gotten to the point where I can take the liberties to actually do what I enjoy instead of just feeling forced to do something to make money.
You can catch the full unmuted interviews streamed live right here on theScore Esports YouTube channel.
It's just I don't want people to think I'm dead. It's like, am I in heaven or what is this? Like, What is this? Are we cosplaying that I died and then I'm up here talking about all the mistakes I made?
The afterlife.